Come on, bitch, let's go. Come on, get ready, bitches. You haven't seen nothing yet. Come on.
Valentino, Versace, Lamborghini, Bugatti. I got money to burn. I'm single and I'm naughty.
Come on.
Tiffany's, Cartier, Gucci, Armani.
Come on.
Break out your black card, boys. It's time to party.
So I've got a really fun show for you guys set up today. And I thought, like, for fun, every week leading up to Christmas, because that's what I celebrate, we will do some present ideas at the beginning of each episode, just up until Christmas. Because as you guys know, I've been testing some products out, and you know that I don't do paid promotions really that much, maybe once in a while, and I always disclose it. But I wanted to tell you some things that I've been using that I really have enjoyed, not paid promotion, tried, loved, and I think they make great Christmas presents. So I'm going to share some of that, and I'm going to start with that today. I also want to talk about the United Healthcare CEO that was just assassinated at a board meeting. I found out some really interesting things about that guy. And oddly, he's tied back to Vanguard, which is, you know, that company everybody loves to talk about on the internet as like the most sinister sort of hedge fund out there because they own, you know, essentially the world, everything. But it always seems to be like stuff getting in trouble that's dark. Well, I want to tell you about his relationship with Vanguard and some things that I found out could totally be, you know, speculative. But, you know, we like that on this channel. That's what we're into. Get us thinking, get us researching, and then we see what we find. I think you're going to really like that. I also will give you an update on that case. I can also tie it back to Michael Lynch. Yep, the same Michael Lynch who sort of seemed like he got assassinated on his yacht. Although, you know, they have said that it's still under investigation. You know, was it a murder? Was it an accident? Who knows? We'll have to see. I feel like it was not an accident. Again, another unsinkable boat story, right? Oh, I have to add him to the unsinkable boat collection. We have such a good group going. I forgot to put Michael Lynch in there. After we go on that ride, I have so much to say about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the last few episodes, the seating chart that Andy Cohen just dropped recently. I really want to talk about that a little bit today as well. Some of my tea isn't matching up with what we're watching, so I thought I'd let you guys in on that, my feelings on that. Just telling you a little kind of hot gossip that we've been talking about in the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon chat. For those of you guys that are listening to the show today on a free listening platform, if you join the community, we have this amazing chat where everybody can talk real time, or they can just like leave stuff there for people to comment on. And we usually are talking about the hotter gossip in there, and it keeps everybody in the Patreon, you know, in knowing what's happening up to the minute kind of thing. And that's always going even if I'm not producing content, which I love. And I hop in there, you know, a few times a day myself just to see what everybody's up to. And then also to comment myself. I'm having so much fun in that damn chat. I know you guys are too that use it. So if you haven't checked out the chat, this is my reminder to you that just go into your app on Patreon or get on the computer and you just click the chat tab for Dishing Drama Dana and you'll see so much tea, and just keep going up and you'll see me commenting in replies and stuff as things come up. I usually drop some tea in there that I won't say publicly from time to time. You'll see me do it if you read my comments. That happened recently, if you were paying attention, when someone noted that I had been shaded on a very kind of notable podcast out there last week. Well, I dropped a little tea in that reply back. I hope you guys didn't miss it. I kind of test people sometimes to see if they pay attention. Does anyone think it's really strange that Teddi Mellencamp moved into Kyle Richards' house to live with her while production is down as she kind of rebuilds her life, I guess, following her cheating with the bigamy equestrian player that was married with a new baby and a young baby, and that she's decided that that's where she should land? Did anyone else think that was really strange? I kind of feel like maybe maybe we might see her as a friend of, okay? Because Kyle has no one to shoot with, and Teddi is definitely going to take a friend spot at this point, given her circumstances. And she's doing that new podcast with Erica Jane Girardi, Rough Diamond or something like that. So I kind of feel like we may be seeing Teddi join the cast again as a friend of. Just saying. Okay, I sense it. I sense her hovering around that proximity. All of those dynamic shifts are just, to me, so ironic, because if Mauricio Umansky was cheating on Kyle, even just with like DMs, right? Let's just say that's all it was. Like, it's kind of weird to have Teddi, who just kind of did that to someone else's wife, living with you. I guess that's what I find really odd. I also find it odd that Kim Richards is not living with Kyle Richards now that the kids are mostly gone and she's having trouble and the sisters are so concerned about Kim. Now, I've got something to share with you a little later in the show about this, but I'll stop it there. But I found that whole thing crazy. What did you guys think? Make sure you comment. So speaking of Kyle's little posse, I wanted to discuss with you guys Dorit Kemsley a little bit further. There has been some things that have happened in her world that I haven't really seen reported on, so I thought I would mention it now, and I'll probably cover it again on Thursday. Although I will say this, the ratings on season 14, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, are lower, much lower than they ever have been. And I'm not criticizing the franchise because I do think there's a lot of changes happening in the world that is impacting people's viewership of reality shows, right? There's a lot of people preoccupied with short clips on social media. They don't want to watch long form content anymore. There's a lot of people that are interested in other topics that, they're more aware of than they ever have been. So there's things that are taking people off of just watching reality TV and the conversation surrounding like, what team are you on? And so that's just like a natural progression of an industry getting old. But I did notice that the ratings were only 700,000 views in terms of like active viewership on Bravo. And then I'm sure there'll be like, downloads on Peacock as well that are not in that number. But that was like an all-time low. To give you an example, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills generally is over 1 million views in its lowest points ever on Bravo. So for it to be at 700,000 is a real statement to what's happening in the reality TV industry, regardless of the show. Yeah, sure, the fans might be sick of the women, the same women. The fans might be like just tired of the formula. The fans might be missing Mauricio and PK and that dynamic. The women being single might not resonate in the same way with the fans watching the show as when the women were married. Like, it could be that simple. Kyle Richards announcing that her sexuality has evolved might have thrown off some of the viewership of the show that might not be into that. They really resonated with Kyle as like the more conservative housewife on the show. All sorts of things could have caused this, but needless to say, I did notice that. And what made me look it up wasn't to be shady. I looked it up because I noticed that my YouTube videos usually are 10,000 plus after about a week on Beverly Hills. And suddenly the numbers dropped to like 6,000 or 7,000. And I'm like, gee, that's low for that franchise. Because to be honest, I wish I could say that my views have to do with me, but I think they more have to do with, are people interested in that content? So, because my audience on YouTube is pretty targeted, not the Patreon's much broader because I cover everything, but YouTube, I generally have just covered Bravo stuff. So I noticed that and I was like, gee, that seems to me like something's up. And sure enough, there was. So back to the mystery. Dorit buys her house back in 2019. Forget the funding of that for a minute because it's evolved over time. Originally, it seemed to have like some sort of, note on it from multiple people funding it like an investment. And then it looks like it evolved into a traditional loan. They like refinanced the loan. And the property is estimated at $7.5 million, around that amount right now. And its mortgage is $4.2 million. Now, there's also been images of Dorit in the property or in a different property doing some photos and stuff which don't match. And people are like, wait, is she in the house? Did she move to a similar looking house? Did she do some major reconstruction of the house that people aren't aware of? Like, there's definitely like imagery that Dorit has taken that some of the fans have commented, like the background isn't matching her previous house. So, I mean, there's all that. And I don't know what to do with that. I really was pretty sure that she moved, or at least she was using a house for promotional purposes that wasn't her actual house she's staying in. So there's some gray around that, but I think I should bring it up to you guys. But the thing is that her mortgage is 4.2 or something like that million. For the full scoop, join the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon. The link is in this audio description. It's only $6 a month and you'll get the best information and tea about the things you care about, and even the things you don't know you care about. What are you waiting for?